On May 25, 1953, the United States Army conducted a live nuclear artillery test shot, the only time the U.S. ever conducted such a test. Digging Deeper, conducted in the Nevada Desert Nevada Test Site, later renamed the Nevada National Security Site, the test firing and detonation of a live nuclear fission-type bomb fired from a cannon was called by the code word Upshot Knothole Grable. One of only 4 gun-type atom bombs ever detonated by the U.S., the warhead was constructed similar to the little boy bomb that obliterated Hiroshima in 1945. It used 2 chunks of uranium at separate ends of a pipe-like gun that were forced together at high speed and pressure by an explosive charge, creating a critical mass and resulting in the nuclear explosion. Yield of the artillery-fired shell was 15 kilotons, about the same as the Hiroshima bomb. Considering that the 11-inch bore cannon, 280 millimeter, could only lob the shell 11,000 yards, 6.25 miles, this made the blast a bit close for comfort for the gun crew. Since presumably the M65 atomic cannon, nicknamed Atomic Annie, would not be the forwardmost U.S. troops and equipment, this means friendly troops would be even closer to the blast if the weapon was used in battle. The test shot was detonated about 524 feet above ground level, lower than nukes were usually detonated at the time. The nearness to the ground resulted in a sort of double wave pressure effect that caused a rethinking of employment of nuclear warheads. Note, the other type of nuclear fission atom bombs are the implosion type that use a hollow sphere of plutonium that is collapsed on itself by surrounding high explosives. The atomic cannon was not a particularly good idea, as the 83.3-ton weight of the cannon and carriage was not very mobile and could crush most bridges. Only 20 of the big guns were built and were fielded in 1953 in Europe and South Korea. Obviously, the enemy would keep track of wherever these guns were on the battlefield, and they would become a primary target. The U.S. Army kept shuffling the guns around in an effort to keep the enemy guessing where they were, but it is likely the enemy knew where the giant guns were anyway. Despite the lack of realistic usefulness, the guns stayed in service until 1963, when they were superseded by 155mm and 203mm 8-inch artillery nuclear shells that could be fired from any cannons of those calibers, making it impossible for the enemy to know which gun tube might be launching a nuke. Other artillery, we are not counting battlefield rockets here, gun-fired nuclear-capable weapons for which nuclear warheads were made, included the 16-inch battleship guns and the aforementioned 155mm and 203mm artillery pieces that came in both towed and self-propelled forms. The United States military had a peak number of 31,255 nuclear warheads during the Cold War, a stupendous number that we could never come close to needing. As of 2017, it is estimated that the United States maintains a stockpile of about 6,800 nuclear warheads, and the Russians have a stockpile of about 7,000 nuclear warheads. The next country with the most nukes is France with 300. A total of 9 countries are believed to have nuclear weapons ready to use. As a question for my students and subscribers, does the U.S. need to maintain such a large number of nukes? How many do we need to keep the Russians or anyone else afraid of our retaliation so as to keep other countries from using theirs? Should nuclear weapons be banished from the earth? Is this even possible? Please share your opinions on these subjects in the comment section below this video. Here are some possible answers to this question.
Hey all, I hope you're staying healthy out there and are having a wonderful day. Now, for today's questions regarding nuclear weapons, I come bearing an opinion from across the Atlantic. Now, as someone who comes from Central Europe, a place that has historically been caught in the middle of the arms race between the United States and the Soviet Union and the placement of nukes between the two, I suppose I would be remiss to neglect my people's historical tradition of protesting against nuclear weapons and the placement thereof. After all, nuclear disarmament always has been a noble goal to strive for. Having said that, I do unfortunately believe that the concept of mutually assured destruction still counts to this very day. After all, just imagine, you wouldn't invade a country that's capable of launching nukes at you in retaliation as quickly as you would invade a country that isn't in the possession of one, which is probably why people are, arguably rightfully so, afraid of new countries joining the list of nuclear-armed nations, as even just one functioning nuke would be enough to deter anyone from ever daring to invade. So to that end, even just one nuke would theoretically be enough to deter other countries. So even to this day, one can argue that nuclear weapons, ironically enough, still serve a purpose in ensuring that a peaceful resolution is sought for through diplomacy rather than through an all-out nuclear war. So one could argue that even to this day they are a necessary evil. After all, we are yet to see a direct war between any of the countries in possession of a nuclear arsenal, so as gladly as I would like to see them gone, I don't think they will be disappearing anytime soon. But hey, if nothing else, we will at least have plenty of nukes in store to shoot at meteorites or invading aliens for when that day inevitably comes.
If you liked this video and would like to receive notification of new videos, please feel welcome to subscribe to History and Headlines and become one of our patrons. Your viewership is much appreciated. I also encourage you to check out the YouTube channel Hipstorian for more great history-themed content.
March along, sing a song with the army of the free. Count the brave, count the true, who have fought to victory. We're the army and proud of our name. We're the army and proudly proclaim. First to fight for the right and to build the nation's might, and the army goes rolling along. Proud of all we have done, fighting till the battle's won, and the army goes rolling along. And it's high, high, hey, the army's on its way. Count off the cages loud and strong. For wherever we go, you will always know